Chapter 346. This is very scientific. The war between Great Kion and the Sky Demon cult became more and more intense. The surroundings of the Imperial City became like a meat grinder as the demons surrounding them died continuously. However, the array formation in the Imperial City had spent a lot of energy, and its condition was not very good. In the north of the Imperial City, coffins were neatly placed on the ground. There were thousands of them, and all of them were zombies. From the outside, it looked like a mass grave. In the west, the cultivators of the Sky Poison sect were tightly wrapped up and taking out a large number of poisonous creatures. There were poisonous snakes, centipedes, scorpions. They were densely packed and looked terrifying. And in the east, a group of Sky Demon cult mutants were watching the battle. Indifferently, as if the ones who died weren't their cannon fodder. This 8-trigram ceiling heaven array is indeed powerful, but to protect such a large area, the consumption is also huge. Let's see how long they can last. Thousand Faces had a mocking expression. If it were me, I would give up on the outer city and shrink the array formation at the cost of tens of millions of lives in the Imperial City. Then I could still resist for a while. Lu Bingxuan's expression was cold, and his words were especially cruel. He did not treat the tens of millions of people in the Imperial City as humans at all. If they really dared to sacrifice, he'll immediately turn the living people into crazy demons and attack them. Beside him, a man with disheveled hair and a slightly crazy expression sneered. How dare you say that, madman? This karma is not small. If a portion of 10 million people survive, you won't be able to withstand the karma of revenge if a few rise up in the future. Lu Bingxuan mocked. Isn't it just death? Just be straightforward and be done with it. The madman didn't care at all. Do you think that perfected immortal lord can't be killed no matter what? Thousand Faces retorted. Hey Emph, it's just that his substitute technique is brilliant. The demon seed art I cultivate is not necessarily inferior to his. The madman was unconvinced. You'll know when you see him. Thousand Faces chuckled. Did this guy really think that his reputation was undeserved without seeing that person's ability? Alright, madman, how are the fiends you planted in the city? When the time comes, we need to break through from the inside. We can only enter from the outside. Lu Bingxuan stopped the two of them from bickering and asked about serious matters. Don't worry, I've already planted 3,000 demons. With just a thought, I can immediately make them erupt and tear open a hole. The madman grinned hideously. I really look forward to when the city falls. The fear in those people's eyes is the best ingredient for planting demons. Once the monster army that has been accumulating for many years is brought out, this array will definitely be broken in at most a month. Lu Bingxuan was certain that the siege battle was basically just another fierce battle. Although the Great Kion Imperial City was impenetrable and protected by a large array, they also had a large number of foreign cannon fodders that Great Kion was afraid of. They would break through sooner or later. He said to the other person, Sea Maiden, go and get another team of cannon fodders. Yes. The Sea Maiden was the mutant who had been saved from the heavenly prison back then. She had the talent to control other mutants. Otherwise, the monsters that were like wild beasts would not be so obedient. The siege was in a stalemate. Both sides attacked and defended, and lives were being lost at every moment. It was especially cruel. Outside the Yao Moon Palace's side, the flames of war raged outside. However, Song Shi was studying the Sun Moon Brilliance art with Palace Master Yao Yue in the Immortal Palace like Rainbow Palace, with the guidance of a person who had cultivated for hundreds or thousands of years. Coupled with Song Shi's powerful comprehension, Song Shi managed to reach the beginner stage in half a day. After another day, Song Shi raised his level to the same level as Yao Yue. Yao Yue's expression changed. She had lived for so many years and had seen all kinds of geniuses, but none of them could compare to this person. Is he really the reincarnation of an immortal? Then there's no problem in following him. She comforted herself in her heart and tried her best to maintain a calm state. Song Shi looked at Yao Yue's young face with interest and realized that this woman had recovered from her shock after a moment. This state of mind was very impressive. Most importantly, the other party was very quiet and did not ask any questions. Such an ice-cold beauty was really interesting, making one have the urge to conquer and change her. He smiled playfully. "Why don't you take off your clothes and we'll get started?" Yao Yue actually thought about it seriously for a moment, then nodded. "Your level is already not inferior to mine, just a bit lower in realm, but your foundation is deeper than mine. Let's try it out." Song Shi was speechless. "Your serious look lacks some spice. I also want to have more feelings, but I don't know if it's because of the cultivation technique or because I've lived for too long. I can't help but be rational." Yao Yue smiled. In the end, she hesitated for a moment before the clothes on her body turned into a burst of colorful light and dissipated, revealing her pure white and flawless body. She was like the most beautiful piece of art. Song Shi sized her up without holding back. He was already immortal, and his usual pleasures were nothing more than courting death or sleeping with women. He would not be so foolish as to be a devoted person to just one woman. Under his gaze, Yao Yue finally revealed a shy expression. This was the first time in 1,000 years that she had been honest with a man, and her icy heart that had been calm for many years was stirred up. Coupled with the girl's face, Song Shi was quite satisfied with her shy appearance. He smiled and teased, "Actually, I prefer those that are more voluptuous." "I understand. You'll see later." Yao Yue sat cross-legged, and her entire body instantly transformed into a brilliant moon. Cold and pure nomological power transformed into moonlight that flowed like water, like a snow fairy. As the moonlight flowed, it reflected a circle of colorful light. Just as Song Shi was wondering why the palace was colorful, he immediately received an answer. He was speechless. "This is very scientific. White light can be dispersed into 7 colors. Can my supreme Yang true fire also be dazzling? What's scientific?" Yao Yu, who was sitting cross-legged in the moonlight, did not understand. "It's just an exclamation. It's like being impressive, awesome." Song Shi casually explained, "The sun-moon brilliance art doesn't have a way to turn the moonlight into dazzling colors, right? This is a transformation technique. It can allow my power of the moon to transform into different cultivation stats. From there, I can cast spells and unleash extreme power." Yao Yue explained, "If you want to learn, I'll teach you in the future." Of course, who doesn't want colorful skin? It's just that it's too feminine. Song Shi was a little conflicted. He wanted to show off his colorful skin, but he also felt that it was not masculine enough. We cultivators don't have to care about the gazes of others, as long as young master likes it. Yao Yue chuckled. She did not expect this perfected immortal lord. Young Master Song, who was rumored to be very annoying, to be so prideful. Yue has a point. Song Shi was enlightened. She did not care about her face at all. Why did she have to give others the wrong impression? Yao Yue's eyes trembled slightly. How many years had it been since someone called her Yue? Let's begin. She suppressed her emotions. With a thought, she surrounded Song Shi like water and moonlight. Song Shi shivered and looked at the pure white moonlight. Is this the grand moon primordial water? It's even stronger than the supreme Yang true fire that I've just started cultivating. He also formed seals. Supreme Yang true fire surged out, completely opposite to the grand moon primordial water. However, with the cooperation of both parties, the power of yin and yang did not conflict. Instead, it balanced out each other and turned into a huge yin and yang diagram. As their nomological powers fused, both parties trembled and immersed themselves in cultivation.